Well, the time has come and you have finally said, I'm going to play Warzone again and give it another try. Or heck, maybe this is the first time you've picked it up and it's been out for 5 years and you're dreading not knowing all of the mechanics that you need to know. Well, you came to the right place. I am Big Puffin, Warzone's favorite uncle, and I'm going to walk you through the ultimate guide so you can know everything and get caught up. Let's jump right in. Now, settings are a big thing in Warzone, as you know, so we want to make sure we have the right settings going into Verdansk. So let's start with your controller settings. You're going to go down to vertical stick settings and always make sure your vertical sensitivity is higher than your horizontal because you're always going to be looking up more than left and right. I know it feels weird, but the verticality in this game is a lot. You're looking up at buildings, looking up ladders, you're looking up stairs. So you want to make sure that can move a little more swift. Controller vibration is off. You want to make sure you don't have that going because what that does is shakes your hands. You don't want to have shaky hands when you're shooting your enemy. That's just crazy talk. Then you want to check your dead zones. I always check mine, but here's a good way of looking at it. I run the test on it, which is great. So you can go ahead and hit test the dead zone. And if it's shaky, as you can see, my left stick is maybe 1% horizontal, 1% vertical. So I can go ahead and know that on my left stick, and I can just go ahead and put that up to a 5, and then I go test it again, and it goes away. So that makes me know what stick I have to do. So then you test your controller out because you probably haven't played with it in a while. Then your left stick max, you want to drop that down to 79 because that will be slow to activate that. And then your triggers, you want to make sure they're at 0. I don't know why, but Call of Duty puts them at 13. Same with your right stick and your left stick, they put them at 13. So just put that at 0. You don't want any delay when you're hitting your triggers there. And then let's go to aiming. So first, target aim assist, make sure that's on. Then you're going to want to go down to aiming advanced settings and make sure your aiming response curve type is dynamic. And then you want to make sure your slope curve scale is at a 1. Then you want to go to combat, and a couple things in here that you might remember from playing before, or if you're new to the game, is apply all for armor plate behavior. So make sure that's there. And then you want to go ahead and come down to combat advanced settings. And then sprint cancels reload is off because when you're running, you don't want to mess with that. You want to be able to run, and then your interact and reload behavior are at prioritize interact. And then on your movement, tactical sprint assist, you want to make sure that is at that setting. Not on, not off, but tactical sprint assist because that gives you that auto tac sprint. You don't have to mash your thumb every time. And then your sprint assist delay at 0, and then you want your sprint assist sideways at on, and your sprint assist backwards on. Mantle assist off, crouch assist off, and corner slicing off. Your slide dive behavior, what works best for me and will probably work best for you, you can do tap to slide or hybrid. I prefer tap to slide. I don't dive as much. I used to dive more, but I just don't feel the need to dive as much anymore. So tap to slide is going to be the way you want to go ahead and do that. Then go to your movement advanced settings and make sure that your sprint door bash is on and your tactical sprint activation's on double tap. Now you talk about graphics settings. So there's a couple things in here on graphics, and I'm not going to bore you with all of them, but you want to go over to view, and then you want your field to view to be between 110 and 120. I'll leave a video up here in the card that shows you the best setting that nobody talks about, which is FOV. I recommend at 115 because then you get a stickier aim assist, your player profile's bigger, your operator's bigger, and you could do it that way. Then make sure you're at wide because you want a wide field of view. And then motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, first camera movement at least 50%, and then inverted flashbang is off. But those are going to be important for when you're in game. That is super, super important. And then your only thing on here, I would say under your display settings is custom frame rate unlimited. And then, or as what is your, if you're a console player at 120 FPS, will be good in there. Now let's go down to interface, and a couple things here you want to make sure you have. So you want to go to gameplay HUD and make sure that mini map is square, not round. Then you get a bigger mini map, of course. And then you want to go down, and what I do is I go to my crosshair and I make sure that's on, and then I go down and I make it the largest crosshair as possible on my screen, so then it makes it easier for me to center that. So crosshair spread, the opacity, and then I choose the brightest color that will stand out in a match, which is going to be bright yellow. Think about that. When you're trying to shoot, you want your crosshairs on their chest. Bright yellow will stand out to you. So I do bright yellow. I think that's a good way of doing that right there. Now let's go over to readability, and then we're going to go to color customizations. So here you can change the color of everybody on the map. So I have myself as bright yellow. I have my team as blue. Keep in mind, I'm colorblind, so these ones work best for me. But then go to color filter and do color filter 2, and then you want color filter target. You want both the world and the interface. And then you want the intensity at 100, and you want the interface color intensity at 100, because that will give you the best visualization when you're in game. And seeing your enemy better than the next guy gets you better odds of killing people faster and getting more wins. These are the settings you're going to want to follow before we even get into a match. Now, audio. Couple things on audio. You're going to want to go down to audio mix and do sucker punch. What that will do is it'll heighten the footsteps for you and give you a more loud sound. I highly recommend that you do that. And then reduce tinnitus sounds. I put that as on as well, and then your hit marker is default. So you're gonna be good there. But from a setting standpoint, that's gonna be the settings you're gonna want to run when you're on Verdansk. Now, with returning or being new to the game, you're gonna see different playlists here. So we're gonna have Battle Royale. That's gonna be quads, trios, duos, solos. That is going to be all Verdansk. Then you're gonna have Battle Royale Casual, and that is going to be players plus bots. 148 players, but actual people is about 24, and the rest are going to be bots. Really AI. The Battle Royale Casual mode is great because it gives you kind of get familiarity of the map. That is a great mode to learn the map. So you want to go ahead and hop right in there. That is, you can do a squad fill, you can do not a squad fill, but it's like I said, it's players and bots. That's going to be something. Plunder's in there like you used to, or if you're not, that's going to be a cash game, which is a lot of fun. Boot camp is training. So if you're new to BR completely, I would start with boot camp, then go to Battle Royale Casual, and then go to Battle Royale Complete on Verdansk. And then we do have the event going, guys. So you want to make sure there's going to be strategically placed chests all around Verdansk. And so you have different quadrants. You got your train station, hospital, hills, superstore. You can see I've gotten a few, and you're going to get these rewards as you clear, and you're going to find these safes that you're going to open. It takes less than 15 seconds to open a safe, so it doesn't really bother you in game. But that safe on the left-hand side, you'll see them. You'll also hear a tone that's different than what you've heard before. You want to make sure that you are opening those and you are acquiring those. You can get those in the casual mode or regular BR mode, whatever you're comfortable with. Now, when picking your operators, there is more to it than the cosmetic, because you want to think about hitboxes, how you stand out on the map. Judah reminded me in our chat that we got to make sure we have the right operator. I used a T8000 here because you can see he's very skinny, will blend into different walls. Makes it easier for me that my enemy can't see me. So I use this one. Now, I purchased this one. You might even say it's pay to win, and that's a whole nother video. But you want to make sure you're not doing something like a turtle, which I do love the turtles, and they are fun. But look how big that hitbox is. And he's green, he's mean, he stands out against different colors. So you want to make sure you're choosing an operator that gives you a little bit more ninja-like, cloak-like mentality here. So make sure you're taking a look at that. You know, an all dark one would be good. You know, something like this would be good and blend in as well. That would blend into a lot of different places, but make sure you're choosing the right operator. Okay, let's talk weapons. First of all, returning players, you're going to be happy because the HDR, Kilo, AMAX, Growl are all there for you. Now, to access all of them, you want to make sure you do a couple different things. The Kilo is going to be in your AR spots. You're going to want to upgrade and level up that gun quickly. And then the Growl is going to be a conversion kit. So you need to go Marksman 556. And then you're going to go ahead and go over to your attachments here. So if I go into loadout here, I go over the fire mods, it's going to be under SWAT 556 Growl conversion. But that will give you the Growl as well. So you're going to have guns that you are familiar with. There are guns that you're not familiar with, but the standard guns are going to be there. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, Puff, I don't have things to level up. That's not a problem. So what you want to do is go into a loadout and go into S3, Season 3 defaults. And you're going to have the Kilo here. You're going to have a PT919 and an AIMS 85. They've put guns in here that will actually help you. The HDR. So you're going to be able to use these loadouts if you don't have Black Ops 6 and be able to do very well with these guns, which is great that they're offering that. That is something completely new this year. So most of the time, we just don't even look at default loadouts. You want to look at the default loadouts because, like I said, we have Kilo, PP919, XMG, the FAL, which is the TR2, C9, and the HDR all baked in for you. Okay, so now we are back on the map, and it's a beautiful thing. But there has been some changes that you should know about. One, now I can pull my gun like this, and I can shoot from the sky. So be careful. I've been killed a couple times today from the sky, and but it is back. You would definitely have the ability to do that now. You didn't have that ability before, so. And then you're going to want to notice that the floating loot is back as well. So we see that here. Got the floating loot, which is great. Easier to see. That is a change that went into effect today. Get a gun. All right. Oh, those are bots or players. Whoa. That's a player. And hey guys, it's come to my attention that some of you have not hit that subscribe button yet or turned notifications on. I put out 3 videos a week just to help you and the community get more wins and have more fun in Warzone. But hey, guess what? Our community Discord is up, and I'll put the link in the description below so you can join. You can squad up with other birds, hang out with us, and have a good time in Warzone. All right, let's get back to this guide. Oh, shoot. What is this guy? I didn't expect bots to throw things at me. Trying to get over to the buy. No, where's the other buy? All right, we'll go over here and show you. Another thing that's changed, if you hold down, you can run with tack stance. So this gives you unlimited tack sprint. If you hold down your right joystick, and then it goes and gives you unlimited speed, so you don't have to go ahead, turn it off, and turn it on. So that makes it nice and easy. But that does make it nice. So if I hold that down, I can run, and it does that. That's something new you probably have not used before. The buy station. So now it's vertical, and you won't be able to buy any guns or anything, but it is verticality, and there's an X button. If you hit X, you'll be able to buy all your teammates back at once. And the cool thing is you don't have to figure out the math on like who is who has the most money or anything like that, because it'll do it for you. So when you hit X to deploy all, it'll redeploy the person with the most money, which is great. We love that. The next thing we got to take a look at is the helicopter, and any vehicle really. Now the vehicles are so much easier to maneuver. They are like Warzone OG Verdansk when we first got the game, but they move with ease. They're so nice, and you can get from one space to another. There's no redeploy balloons, there's no zips, there's nothing like that. You have to use a vehicle to get around if that's what you want to do, and to get up in these high spaces. But these vehicles are very nice, and I can sit that down there, and you just couldn't do that before with the old with the vehicles from Resurgence. So that is something that you're going to want to mess with and enjoy, is the vehicles as well. Here is the safe I was talking about for the event. So you land here, you go ahead and open it like this, and there you go. It opens a loot for you. You're going to get a gun. You're going to get a little calling card. Welcome to Ranch Challenge Complete. And you open that in prison. You're also going to notice now that your contracts, you're going to have only a few. So you have your scavenger, you have your most wanted, bounty, and your recon. So those are the only ones you're going to see on here are those. Let's go get our loadout, and I'll show you what that looks like. You see on the mini map there, he's shooting me. That is also another change. Look how big that red dot is. So use your mini map to understand where the person is, because that big red dot there, that's big and easy to see. So then you know where people are shooting when they shoot an unsuppressed weapon. That'll be nice and easy for you. We got our loadouts here. So Heard that guy coming. I got my kilo here all leveled up as it's going. Level 37 here, which is great. Just got to keep getting leveled up. One of the contracts you might not be familiar with, or you might see new, is this supply run contract. So that's going to come in handy because when you get this contract, you get to a buy station as fast as you can. Like this right here, it tells you where to go. You'll be able to buy people back for free with a supply run contract instead of doing a keying contract. And you'll be able to get a free self-revive as well. So you pull the contract, you're gonna run all the way over here. Oh my gosh, the vehicles are so much easier to maneuver. It looks like I got a bounty on me. But you'll be able to come in here and go to this buy station and claim your prize, right? So if I come in here, I get all this stuff half off and I get a free self-revive, which is great. So then I have my free self-revive. Now in the left corner, if you do another contract, so if we go ahead and click that, you see I get 30% bonus. So that's going to keep multiplying. So let's try that one and we'll see what that looks like. Because you never know what buy station that's going to pull. It could pull the same one. Looks like it's not. It's going to pull a different one. So let's go do it. And then we're going to get a 30% bonus on the payout. You see the 2,300. So I'm going to get 2,340 plus an added bonus to get the payout. So that's going to be a huge advantage when you're in game and you need money. You can stack contracts, whether it's scavenger, whether it's bounty, whether it's king contract, whether it's intel. Either way, you're able to do that. So we're going to go over here and we'll get another discounted item, plus we'll be able to get more money. See that guy shooting that?
Buy station exploited. Nicely done. Discount is applied.
So we got a couple people here, but I got that, and now it's at 60%, you see? Which is great. Where's this guy at? Did he jump down? No, he didn't jump down. Okay. And he's up there. Which is good for you. So that is another thing you definitely want to be taking into account. Look at one more thing. Oh, there's somebody here. That was a player. Oh, might be a bad idea.
I'll be back.
There we go. I was wondering where he was. One thing they did change was the buy station, right? So on the right-hand side, you cannot buy a weapon anymore. So it's good to run overkill. You're not going to run gunfighter because there's no way of buying a secondary gun. So I run gunfighter right now, which is fine. But then I'm stuck with using ground loot for my gun, which is not fine. Another change you're going to see is at the bottom of my screen right now, you see 5 plates. That's the max I can hold unless I have a satchel. Before, you could pick up a satchel and you would be good to go all the time. The only way you can get a satchel now is if by doing a scav contract like these. So at the end of a scav contract, there will be a satchel for you. So let me show you what that looks like. Make sure you don't get... Oh, there's somebody throwing stuff at me. So this is the way you get the satchel right here. Pop this and see, there's your satchel right there. So that's the only way, and I can go 8 plates from there. You're also going to be able to carry 1 kill streak. So that is only what you'll be able to carry, and we got that one right there. So we're good, dialed in that way. keep in mind, these are bots. This isn't, some of them are real, but most of them are bots. This is the casual mode. As much as I want to be, think I'm amazing at this, this is literally just the casual mode, so. That's a real player. They took away the marker on the airstreak, so he doesn't know that's coming right now. He's chasing me. Free fire the corner. Got him every time. The next tip is, this is the best mode to level up your guns. As you can see, I'm leveling up. It's double weapons XP right now. This mode is the greatest mode to do that with, because you can just kill the bots, you can complete things, and you go ahead and get your levels done if you don't want to do it in multiplayer. It's very nice. We got people over here. Two of them. Oh, jeez. Nice. Up top. I'm dead. Yeah, that was a player. Okay, so you might not be used to this, but we have a Gulag system. So when you die, you can either be bought back at that buy station for $4,000, but you do get a chance to go 1v1 against somebody in the Gulag. One starts on the left, one starts on the right. I'll show you here in a second. And if you win your Gulag, you get to go back and fight again. Now, you're going to be paired with a pistol. You can also throw rocks from the side of here to help people, or to hurt people, I should say. But look, I'm going to start back here. You always get a pistol or an SMG, but you're going to fight right here, and this will release you to the game if you win. Let's see if I win here. I'm going to go left. I'm going to come around here. I'm going to cross over. And I won. So now I'll get released and I'll go back into the match. I won't be able to go to the Gulag again, though. That is the only time I'll be able to do that. And it gets me back in the match. Then my teammates don't have to buy me for $4,000. So, hey guys, if you want to watch more videos from me, go ahead, click or touch the screen now and check out this video where I give you the most viewed videos on every Warzone map. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.